Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. This is the post-fight review for the Efe Ajagba and Amir Mansour fight. Efe Ajagba wrecks Amir Mansour twice in the first round and makes him quit on a stool after 2 rounds. Amir Mansour did not want to come out for the 3rd round, and the referee waves it off. Amir Mansour quits. Efe Ajagba advances to 9-0, 8 knockouts on his record so far, Mansour being one of them. And the only time Ajagba hasn't got a knockout was when Curtis Harper walked out of the ring in the opening bell in 2018, and it was ruled a disqualification victory. But Efe Ajagba, overall, it was a very impressive performance. Amir Mansour, he was game for the first round or so, but as soon as he got clipped, he got hurt and he was down. Down twice in the first round. Towards the back end of the first round, he was very cagey actually. Efe Ajagba was trying to walk Amir Mansour down in that first round. That's not a situation that Amir Mansour has been in a lot in his career. He obviously was wary of the power, and he was looking to avoid Efe Ajagba and probably take this fight into the later rounds. But it wasn't to be. Amir Mansour, who was cautious and cagey for the first couple of minutes, gets hit flush on the chin by a straight right hand down the pipe, and he is hurt and he is down. And he tries to sort of avoid Ajagba for the rest of the round, and it looked like it might be over inside 1 round. And he has dropped a second time with about 20 or so seconds to go, and that was actually from a left hook. So Ajagba catches him, he's down, he actually sort of sprawls through the ropes. He does beat the count, but he's on very unsteady legs, and the bell does save him from being knocked out in round 1. And from there, it was really a fait accompli. It looked like it was always going to end at some point. Amir Mansour throughout the second round was on unsteady legs. There was a bit of the fight or flight mentality from Mansour. He sort of tried to, really put it on Ajagba in that second round at different points. He even caught him flush on the chin with a right hook, and Ajagba took it comfortably. Didn't seem to be fazed by it at all, and after that he actually screamed at Ajagba, screamed at his face, and within a few seconds he got clipped with, it was either an uppercut or a right hand, but he was hurt again, and that was towards the end of the second round. He goes into the corner again on unsteady legs, and I was thinking, well, it's all going to be downhill from here, and it was. Amir Mansour did not come out of his corner for the 3rd round, didn't want any more. Clearly, Efe Ajagba had hurt him to some extent, and obviously he didn't want any more, quits on a stool. And it was another soft stoppage involving Amir Mansour against Filip Hrgović. That was in 2018, the fellow prospect in this sort of class, the Olympian class of 2016 that Ajagba was in. Filip Hrgović, he also fought Amir Mansour and stopped him in 3 rounds. Mansour didn't want to get up from the second knockdown in their fight, and a similar sort of situation here. He was hurt in the fight, and ultimately he gave up. So Amir Mansour is, I'm not sure I really want to see him at any extent or any level anymore, because he doesn't seem to have the heart and determination to continue facing some of these young lions that are coming up. This was always looked upon by, I think, many fans as Amir Mansour clearly on the slide now, but could he do something, give Ajagba a few things to think about, but it was always a bit of a mismatch, and Ajagba was expected to stop him and knock him out within a few rounds. I was saying I thought it would probably end within 3 rounds, and it ended after 2, and I think you probably would have got decent odds for that, picking the round between 1, 2 and 3. And Amir Mansour, quits on a stool. So disappointing situation there. But Ajagba, he advances. And it does, as I mentioned, Filip Hrgović, create a bit of a data point to compare the two. Filip Hrgović was relatively impressive in that fight, handled Mansour. But I think seeing Mansour again now, it's clear, even heading into that fight with Filip Hrgović, where he took that on relatively short notice, he's clearly shot to bits now. He is not performing at the level that he once did, and Amir Mansour is really, he has devolved into a journeyman, and he acted like one tonight. He gave it a go for a round or 2 and then ultimately gave up. He didn't get knocked out brutally, and that's probably why he didn't want to come out for the 3rd round, because it was all downhill from the first round. Very lucky to survive the second, and he probably would have been brutally knocked out in that 3rd round. There would have at least been another knockdown, and maybe it would have been called off at that point anyway. The referee was carefully looking at Mansour throughout, and very unsteady legs. not a great performance by Mansour, but Efe Ajagba, he did everything that was expected of him. And the right hand, that straight right down the pipe, again, it was a brutal weapon in this fight. The left hook, which we've been hearing about, his trainer Ronnie Shields has been talking about. Look, the left hand, it hasn't been used a lot, but that is a very effective weapon. He's got power in both hands, and the left is just as good as the right. And that was what led to that second knockdown. And when comparing the performances with Hrgović, it's on a par. You know, it ended within about half a round of each other, and I think, you know, a very impressive performance by Efe Ajagba, and he is deserving of this sort of growing buzz that he has been getting with some of these knockouts and some of these performances. There has been a knock on some of the fights so far. I've actually got a highlights video up on my second channel, 99 Boxing. It's got a couple of 100,000 views of Efe Ajagba, those first 7 fights. Many of the comments sort of say he's fought no one. You know, none of these guys are in shape. None of them came to fight. But this guy, Amir Mansour, he did try to put it on Efe Ajagba for spots in the fight. He is in shape, albeit he's 46 and on the slide. So, I mean, we've got to put it in perspective. He was expected to win. It was a bit of a mismatch, but it was, on paper at least, a step-up fight. Amir Mansour, in this condition, would probably beat all his previous opponents. So, you know, Mansour was a minor step-up onto something bigger and better. So Ajagba did what he had to do. He looked good in there. He was relatively comfortable. I'd still like to see him use the pump that jab a bit more. He sort of was waiting for Mansour at points where he could have been working, but overall, a very good performance. What did you make of it? Drop a comment, loud and often. Hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.